This is a look I recreated from Genevieve on TikTok. It was so simple, cohesive, and reminded me of a royal ethereal fairy. I started with KVD Pore Refining Primer along with their serum foundation, which has such a beautiful finish. I love highlighting with a lighter concealer. I set my skin with powder heavier on the under eye so that the glue sticks without any oily residue. Placed and pat on contour, then went in with a shadow brush for the nose. I used a green color corrector for the redness on my lasered brows and filled them in. The original look wasn't a winged liner, but if I stopped the liner bluntly at the corner of my eye, it would shorten my eyes. So with dark brown shades, I mapped, stamped, and took my time with a straighter winged liner to elongate. Then I tight lined on my upper waterline in between my lashes to fill the gap between my lash and lash line. It blends together when I apply on false lashes. Then carefully lined over with a thin liner brush with white liner. After I applied black mascara to lengthen the lashes and also to cover the white liner that got on my lashes. I applied blush and bronzer to my cheeks and a little on my nose, also sweeping above the brow and my forehead to bring back a flush of color to my skin. Same white liner, I lined my lips, then blended slightly inwards and repeated the same 2 steps until it gave a slight glow to the lips. And finishing with a white glittering shadow liquid, middle of the bottom lip to melt it in. I applied the lash glue as close underneath, tight under my eye as much as my patience allowed me. Stuck on the face jewelry, used my mini fan and prayed to God. And lastly, just added white shadow in the inner corner. I love the highlight. Make sure to create the jewelry beforehand. I used old necklaces and nail art jewelry. I have a box full of random objects, old jewelry, and pieces. It's like a resource for random creativity. You can always take things from your past and turn it into something beautiful for your present. Only in the process of making could I make happy little mistakes and notice things I otherwise wouldn't if I didn't attempt to make it. The weight, the length, materials used, and size all matter. The hole in the chains was too tiny to fit parts I tried. The weight, if too heavy, would drag the skin under your eyes downwards and would be too heavy for the glue to hold on. The length I should have taken more time to measure because it was slightly too long. Sorry that this video is utter chaos, but here we go. So use string, floss, yarn, whatever you can find to measure right up against your lower lash line down the face. Make sure it's exactly where you want it to be. Include the gems at the end with the measurement to avoid it being too long at the end like mine. Take that string and put it against a measuring tape to mark the length. Do the same with the faux lip piercing. Here's a list of materials you'll need. It's under $15 assuming that you don't have pliers and parts from old necklaces lying around. I switched some materials for ease of use to avoid the mistakes that I made. I want to mention here that you should use 2 small skinny pliers if you can. It'll just be much easier to close the gaps. Also, instead of using a paper clip like I did and suffering for it, use pliers with a flexible metal string instead. I'll also tag the original creator's video below. You can refer to her work or the Walmart version, which is mine. I broke pieces by accident, cut my finger, and ran into little hiccups and frustrations, and I cherish every moment of it. I had to improvise with a paper clip at one point because I couldn't find a piece I needed. So note to make mistakes means that you're trying, and the act of trying always opens up new ways to think and see, which is always the goal. Now we have these pieces as a pretty token of our progress.